Do this.
Oh, I'm not going. Okay. I want you guys to think back to your first heartbreak. How did it feel? Did you cry a lot? Did you listen to Adele on repeat? Did you sit on a shower floor crying? Did your heart feel like it was actually breaking? How long was the love that caused your heartbreak? 2 weeks? Some people's it was 2 years. 3 months? Maybe even a day. The love that caused my heartbreak lasted 12 years. And my first heartbreak was when I tore my ACL for the first time. My second heartbreak was when I tore my ACL for the second time. Before my ACL tears, I would have defined myself as a soccer player. But afterwards, I learned that you're so much more than a soccer player, and it taught me real strength and to be a fighter. Let me take you back to when I tore it. September 29, 2016. It was like every normal Thursday night game where I was playing our rivals, and I scored in the first 5 minutes, and it was just the best time ever. And then, all of a sudden, the 90th minute came. We were still up 1-0, and this was to become state championships. I was going back to decelerate, and a girl came up behind me and nailed my knee. Instantly, I knew what the pain was. I knew I tore my ACL. Tearing your ACL means you're out for a year, and it causes surgery and lots of pain. The recovery process was spent hours at physical therapy, hours on the sideline, and hours just being sad because I missed the sport that I loved and played my whole life. Even though the physical aspect is really hard, the really hard part is the mental side. Sean Lee, one of my inspirations, Dallas Cowboys, defensive line, described this as, tearing an ACL can be devastating, but the darkness that accompanies it is an uncommon challenge for anyone who experiences it. But the darkness can hold you down as long as you let it. I listened to that quote in that video over and over again to push me through to come back after the first one. Coming back, I was super excited. It was 10 months later, and I felt really good. My recovery went perfectly. I sucked really bad for the first time. I was so bad, I couldn't score, and I was in a drought. But finally, the goals started coming again. I finally started playing again, and I was scoring 3 goals a game, just crushing it, and it was the best feeling ever. And then all of a sudden, I started having a weird feeling in my knee. There was nothing that happened, but it was weird. So I went to the doctor, and they ACL tested me, and I passed. So I went back, started playing, was still deadlifting, squatting. 2 months later, I'm still having this pain, really uncomfortable, and I couldn't sleep at night. I actually got diagnosed with PTSD because I was having these constant dreams of re-tearing my ACL over and over and over again. And if anyone has ever torn their ACL, you know the pain and what it feels like. After 3 months, I went back to the doctors, and again, after 6 doctors ACL tested me, I still passed. 4 months later, I still am having the pain, and I'm running on the treadmill, and my shin dislocates to my knee. So I go to the doctor again and ask for an MRI. My mom said, that's a waste of money, but I did it anyways, because I went to the best doctor in the Midwest. I will always remember the moment that I sat down with the doctor. He's the doctor for the Bulls and the Sox. He's a really, really good ACL doctor. He does thousands of surgeries a year, and he's totally good with it. He sat down with me the day that I was expecting him to tell me that maybe I had a meniscus tear, and he sat down and with tears in his eyes goes, so you tore both your meniscus? And I was like, okay, I can handle that. And then he goes, and your ACL is completely gone. It disintegrated into your bloodstream. And at that moment, I already signed to Pepperdine to play soccer, and I knew that was going to change my life. It's a 2% re-tear rate for tearing your ACL again, and that's really low, and nobody normally redoes it. But the chances of having a failed surgery, with what I was diagnosed with, is even lower, less than 1%. I was the 1%. I came to college soccer, and that's not anyone's ideal situation. I committed my sophomore year, and I just had this perfect idea planned out to play college soccer. 3 months later, after surgery, I was coming back to soccer, and the surgery that I had was 2 leg braces, and so I had 2 straight leg braces on for a month. So I was still learning how to walk again when I came up in July. I ate Advil like it's candy every morning, scooping it in my mouth because of the pain. They had to teach me how to walk again, which is really awkward if you've ever been taught how to walk again, because it's something that you should do. Fall, we were 20 hours of soccer a week, and I also had physical therapy on top of that, and I was also a sports med major, so my time was really limited. But the worst part was how much I missed it. Sitting on the sidelines for mini games, we played like 20 a season, I just sat there and remembered all the times that I missed playing. Even though tearing my ACL was probably one of the worst things that happened to me, it taught me so much. It taught me my true identity, which is I'm not always going to be a soccer player. I got really big into photography and film, and now I'm actually a media major. And I've got to spend more times with friends and cherish moments. When I come back, I know that I'm going to appreciate every moment on the field because I've missed it for 2.5 years. And it also taught me true strength. Even though 1% of people have a failed surgery, you best believe I'm going to be the 1% that comes back to collegiate athletics. A quote that helps me get through all this is, "Somewhere behind the athlete you become and the hours of practice and the coaches who push you so hard is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for her." And that's what I plan to do. Thank you.